Gospodarskem forumu. V živo se vam javljamo iz Postojne. Tokrat smo našo družbo povabili gostjo, ki nam bo iz prve roke predstavila aktualne gospodarske razmere z Nemčijo. Z državo, ki je naša največja in najpomembnejša zunanjetrgovinska partnerica. V Nemčijo je usmerjenih 12% celotnega slovenskega izvoza. Blagovna menjava med obema državama je lani znašala skoraj 15 milijard evrov, pri čemer največ trgovinskega presežka beležimo z deželo Bavarsko, s katero nas gospodarsko najmočneje povezujejo avtomobilska, elektro in strojna industrija. Ima pa nemško gospodarstvo v tem trenutku velike težave, ne samo v industriji, ampak tudi v gradbeništvu in trgovini. Evropska komisija Nemčiji za letos napoveduje ničelno gospodarsko rast, čeprav se slednja zadnje dni vendarle rahlo dviguje. Kaj se torej dogaja z nemškim gospodarstvom in kako vse bolj grozeča nemška recesija vpliva na slovenska podjetja? O vsem tem z našo sogovornico. Med nami toplo pozdravljamo predsednico Slovensko-nemške gospodarske zbornice, Dagmar von Bohnstein. Guten Tag und herzlich willkommen bei uns in unserer Gesellschaft.
Vielen Dank. Ich freue mich, dass ich hier bin.
Sind Sie zum ersten Mal in Postojna?
Nein.
Haben Sie schon die berühmte Postojner Höhle besucht?
Natürlich. Die Höhle und vor allen Dingen die Felsenburg, die mir mindestens genauso gut gefällt wie die Höhle. Also ich bin sehr begeistert hier von Postojna.
Super, super. Sie sind seit 2022 in Slowenien. Womit entspannen Sie sich?
Oh, mit vielen Spaziergängen in den wunderbaren Wäldern mit meinem Hund hier. Das ist wirklich das, wo ich mich am meisten entspanne und was ich sehr genieße in Slowenien, die Natur und auch eben die Spaziergänge, den Frieden, den Wald und tatsächlich die schöne Natur.
Das ist super. So viel Deutsch, and now we'll jump to English. So, how busy is your schedule, especially these days? I'm asking because the geopolitical situation is uncertain, not just in Germany and Slovenia, but all over the world.
I'm quite busy, but I would say not because of the geopolitical situation, but because of the holiday, which are coming closer in Slovenia. And, you know, before the holiday, we are really busy with a lot of appointments, a lot of meetings, events.
It's a chaotic situation.
It's every year the same.
It's every year the same, yes. Before you came to Slovenia, you served in Iran as the general director of the Iran-Germany Chamber of Commerce. You came to our country on April 1st in 2022, as already said. Probably there is a big difference between working in Iran and working here in Slovenia.
Yes. There is a big difference because, you know, it was Middle East. It was a huge country, 82 million inhabitants, so and quite a good, let's say, trade volume with Germany. And I have been in Iran when the reform started. We had a president, Mr. Rouhani, who tried to open up the country and to open up the economy. It was quite a good time, but then everything stopped again when Mr. Trump came to the presidency the first time. So that's Middle East. And then I came to Slovenia expecting, you know, a right-sized country, not a small one, but a right-sized, as I have learned. And I was expecting, you know, easygoing. I thought, okay,
easygoing in a
I'm
small
back
country.
in Europe. Not so big topics, everything's the same, like in Germany, like in Bavaria, and you know,
then Donald Trump come back.
No, but that was not the main topic. The main topic was I woke up in Slovenia and thought, okay, something is different here. Something is different. It's not an easy job. It's quite challenging. It's quite important to Germany. They have a trade volume last year of almost 15 billion. So for a 2 million inhabitant country, it's quite a lot with Germany. It's a Middle and Eastern European country, you know, right at the border to Eastern Europe. So it was quite important, or it is quite important, but it is also quite challenging because I can see that Germany and Slovenia are close partners, but they have not the best, let's say, knowledge of each other. And that is exactly what we in our chamber try to improve, the knowledge of each other.
Okay. Are you concerned about Israel's attacks on Iran and vice versa? What's your view on this situation?
I beg your pardon, but on, you know, political questions, I'm not commenting. I'm a business representative, yes, seeing what is happening, but I stick to my area.
But this war situation will definitely have consequences for the German economy and
like
in Europe
all,
in general. Yes.
Like all geopolitical crises do. So, yes.
Compared to Germans, how different are Slovenian workers? Do we have different work habits? Do we sometimes, because of our famous Balkan temperament, forget about Ordnung und Disziplin?
Oh, no.
No?
No. I would say no. Not in Slovenia.
Where is our famous Balkan temperament then?
No, your temperament, that's fine.
Okay.
But I would say in Slovenia, I find really a quite good discipline. And what I find and what I had to learn in Slovenia is you have a quite good understanding of work-life balance. You know, what we are trying in Germany to achieve, you already have it. Because in Germany, very often, especially in my generation, you know, we are working. And after that, life starts. But there is not much time left. And in Slovenia, you are working hard, ambitiously, but until, let's say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then, you know, your second, let's say, ambition starts. That is sports. That is, let's say, family or whatever. So I guess you have some advantages with regard to us because you have understood how to divide between work and life.
We are balancing between business and pleasure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The European Commission predicts zero growth for Germany this year. Recently, the media have reported a slight increase. What is current situation on the German market? What concerns you the most right now?
Right now, I'm not concerned.
Really? That's good.
Right now, I'm happy and looking forward.
But on the otherwise, why are German business leaders feeling so bad about the future?
They don't do anymore, I would say. So as you all know, we had 2 years of recession, 0.3% in 2023, 0.2% in 2024. So that was, let's say, recession time, but a slight one. But this year, we already have the light at the end of the tunnel, because the first 3 quarters, we had a growth rate of 0.4%. Throughout the year, the forecasts have been revised, and it's now 0.3 to 0.4% throughout the year. So at least it's a growth rate. And for 2026, we have an expectation of 1.1 to 1.5%. So I would say, yes, we have quite challenges in Germany, but we are on a good track.
So Germany is not in a mild recession, right?
I would say not anymore.
Not anymore.
I mean, you know, you asked for geopolitical consequences on economy. You never know what happens now. And it can influence the situation drastically. But if we, let's say, overcome the actual conflict, then we can move on our way upstairs.
If you focus a bit on Bavaria, your homeland, the region is a priority market for Slovenia. To be more precise, in 2023, Bavaria was the second biggest German state in trade with Slovenia, with about 20% share. What changes do you think will happen in Bavaria soon? Because Bertram Brosart, General Director of the Bavarian Metal and Electrical Industry Employers Association, said in one of his recent interviews that the Bavarian economy is in recession. You said different.
You know, I know Mr. Brosart quite well because I've worked closely with him for 15 years. So I know what he is saying and why. And what I would like to recommend to Slovenia and all our foreign partners, you should differentiate between what we are, complaining about in Germany, focusing our government, trying to make clear how the situation is, how it should be improved by political decisions, and how the situation is in reality. So we have quite a lot of challenges in Germany, yes, especially in these industrial areas and sectors which you have in Bavaria, because it's a highly industrialized part of Germany. But I would say, let's hope for the best. And as I told you, all the signs, even if these are light ones, show that we will improve.
So in reality, which industries still have shortages and which one are doing well?
I mean, you just have to look at the situation, what we are needing. So we have a big challenge, which is climate change. We have a big challenge, which is aging of societies and workforce. We have geopolitical challenges. So if you take these three challenges, then you know what we need. We need a lot of new technology with regard to renewable energy. We need a lot of digitalization, improvement in digitalization, especially with regard to aging societies.
Yes.
We do not have enough workforce in the near future.
In Slovenia, we have completely the same situation.
Yes, it's all over Europe. It's not Germany and Slovenia, it is Europe, which has the same situation, the same challenges, and the same chance to improve it.
But if we stop by car production in Germany is shrinking more and more. Apparently, the old model of the economy in Germany as a proud country of cars no longer works. This was a surprise to all of us. What caused problems in the German car industry?
I mean,
in the proud country of cars.
Yes, and we are still a proud country, of course. I love my BMW, driving it wherever I am, either in Iran or in Slovenia, always BMW. We have MAN here, we have Mercedes here, and we are still proud on our cars. And
by the way, how was in Iran driving a car?
It was special.
Okay.
Because you have traffic.
What was the man opinion when they saw you driving a car?
No, all women are driving in Iran.
I know, but you're a woman in Iran. You were?
But all women in
Iran. Yeah. Okay.
It's not an Arab country. It's a Persian country, and that is quite different. And all women are driving in Iran. So, and also did I. I mean, I had a driver as well, but during the weekend I was driving myself, and I started to learn how to, mingle through.
Also in Iran, you drive.
Yes.
Mercedes or
no,
BMW.
I'm Bavarian.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about
what caused the problems in the German car industry?
Car industry is, as I said, we have a big topic which is a challenge for the whole society. That is climate change, and because of climate change, we have to have a green transition. And especially car industry was hit by that knowledge, by that, we woke up and we knew we had to change something. And especially in Germany with our green, I mean, the Ampel-Koalition in Germany, which we had before the new government, they tried to force the industry in a highly speed to do that green transition. And the speed was too high. So it's not possible, to fix a date by politics or by government. You have to fix the date by technological advancement. And that was quite, let's say, a big, I would say, big mistake. And even the European Commission, as you know, has understood it by now and has stepped back one step because they are now focusing on competitiveness, still taking into account green transition, but in a due speed, not, not faster than technology can be. And please let me add, when you're saying, okay, the German car industry is in a bad situation, I tried to find some figures to show you, and I found in 2024, the German automotive industry generated revenue of 536.1 billion euro in that year. It was a decline of 5% with regard to 2023, the year before, but it was the second highest revenue in the industry's history.
The second.
So, that is exactly what I wanted to tell you. It is, I read about Germany, only bad news here in Slovenia. Only bad news. And I can understand why, because Slovenia and Germany are really close partners with regard to business. So whenever, as we know, Germany coughs, Slovenia gets the flu. Yeah. So I understand why you are so scared about the development in Germany. But do not forget, Germany is the third biggest economy worldwide and the biggest net investor worldwide. So it's a huge economy. And we have challenges, yes, but we are not, losing ground.
Okay. You said the speed was too high, but is it really hopeless for electric cars? What is going on in this field?
No, it's not hopeless. It is
Are we
challenging.
losing? Yes, but are we losing economic ground to the Chinese?
We are losing ground, yes,
but
we are speeding up again. So, especially in a highly sophisticated industry sector like automobile industry, you always have technological jumps, and the one are faster than the others, but the other are speeding up. So right now it looks like, China is way in front of us, but I'm quite confident that we will catch up.
Do you think that car industry will be replaced by defense industry? Is this the new reality?
Replaced? No, never ever, sorry. Never ever. But it will complement it by defense industry. Last week we had a roundtable with the German Federation of Security and Defense Industry in our chamber. And we were discussing a lot about the two sectors. And the colleague from that federation, he was complaining a little bit, telling us, okay, in the last years, you didn't see us, you didn't want to talk to us. Now, just for a sudden, we are interesting again. So I would say we have to speed up in the defense industry, but it will be an addition to the other industry sectors, car industry, chemical industry, electronic industry. So we have, let's say, several sectors which are highly technology driven and which will exist one next to the other.
Defense industry will not replace car industry,
not
right?
At all. Not
yeah,
at all.
yeah. The outside impression is that Germany is falling behind in digital technologies. It will be probably a tough fight to dominate the electric car market, where Chinese companies are, you said, already winning. What's the plan for the future?
We are talking a lot about China, about electrical cars, but we should also talk about, when it comes to digitalization, about Industry 4.0. We should talk about robotic. We should talk about AI. These are all sectors where Germany is quite strong, especially Industry 4.0. It was more or less invented
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Germany. And we are still working on it. So yes, I see and I know and I acknowledge China is really a strong competitor. But in our German, let's say, thinking, we love competition. So it helps us to become better. Right now, it is a situation where we look at China and think, okay, we should speed up, but we will. So it is not a replacement, not China versus Germany, and not electric car versus, let's say, other cars.
So how to reduce dependence on China and the USA? Naive question. Will Europe market will be enough?
I mean, dependence on China, what do you mean? If I look at our German big companies like BMW, like Siemens, like BASF.
I mean, German exports depend on the US markets and China.
Yeah, but yes, but at the same time, we have, as I told you, a big investment in China, a big investment in the United States. So we are working local for local.
In which industries?
In all industries, especially car industry, chemical industry. We have big sites in USA as well as in China. So it is not, you know, I know we are an export-driven country, but that's not all. You know, we are also investing within these countries and working for the local market.
What about Donald Trump?
Go on, try.
Yes.
Try me.
What effects are you focusing because of the imports and
of the tariffs?
Yes.
Yeah, the tariffs, yes, they will hurt us if they come as foreseen, as promised. But I read 2 days ago when our Chancellor Merz came back from G7 summit, he was telling the media, okay, we are on a good way to find a solution with the United States. And it's not Germany itself, it's European Union, because, you know, they have the say in trade policy. And so far, I mean, we have still time, I guess, until 9th of July, when he wanna make it, you know, sharp. And until then, we will have bargaining, and I'm quite sure that we will find a solution. Because United States, I looked it up, has 750 billion euro export to the EU. So you see, not only we are dependent on them, but they are dependent on us as well. So we have a bargaining mass, and we will do that.
Okay. In this context, what changes will happen in the energy sector in the next 5 years? Is the goal still the same, to reach 65% of electricity from renewable sources by 2030?
We cannot change that goal because, as I said, climate change is the big challenge above us all.
No matter of opinion of Donald Trump, right?
No.
Yeah.
And we have to, let's say, we have to find a way to reduce CO2 emission in every sector we can face. So yes, we are speeding up, but we are not, you know, we are not driven by political sharp dates, but we are more
with a lower speed, right?
We will lower the speed, but not lose the
direction, yes, in the focus. If you go to Slovenia, Germany connection, the yearly research by the Slovenian German Chamber of Commerce shows that most of German companies still see Slovenia as a good place to invest. That's okay. But at the same time, more and more companies are thinking about alternatives, mainly Croatia and Hungary. What is the situation on the ground? In what ways are Croatia and Hungary better, more attractive than Slovenia? What are they doing better?
They are listening to business. And business is much more important in these countries. It's as simple as that. You know, in Hungary, especially, in Croatia, meanwhile, also, They are listening. They are trying to attract business, to keep them. I mean, no German company which has invested in Slovenia would like to leave. No one would leave because the investment is here and they are working here and they are quite happy with the, landscape and living in Slovenia. But on the other hand, especially tax policy in Slovenia, especially public administration in Slovenia, it makes life really hard for companies. And that is exactly why they are looking for alternatives, not to disinvest, but to see where new investments could go. And that Croatia is close by. The tax policy is quite different. Hungary is not so far away. I mean, there are other, let's say, challenges, but for business, it's a good place to be.
We need stronger communication, right, between Slovenian decision makers and private business sector. And here we often notice the communication gap.
I must say the Ministry of Economics is very open to us. We can, whenever we need it, we can even reach the minister to talk to him, the state secretary to talk to him, to explain our cases. But in general, for my German eyes, in general, the economy and the business has not the right place in Slovenia for the importance which it has. Because wealth of a country, of a society, is based on success in business. And that's a reason, I mean, who is paying taxes? Companies are paying taxes. So please give them a good chance to be successful.
At this moment, what do German companies dislike the most about Slovenia? You already mentioned high taxes, unpredictable business environment, not enough qualified workers, or raising labor cost. What exactly?
Raising labor costs. Very clearly. Raising labor costs are raising in a high speed and reducing net profits. And net profit mean you have the chance or you don't have the chance to invest, to extend your production, to support the country more.
And this is also the biggest risk for investors.
The biggest risk is actually labor costs, yes, but it's also infrastructure. That we do a survey every year, asking our German managing directors, what is your situation in Slovenia? And it's always tax, it's unpredictability of economic policy, it is public administration, and this year, for the first time, it's also infrastructure, because the companies need for their business really digitally, but also with regard to traffic, a good infrastructure.
At least people and the food are okay.
People and the food are excellent.
Which areas are in Slovenia still attractive for German investments? Manufacturing and logistics, number one.
Manufacturing, logistics, yes, but for especially all the high innovative suppliers. That is really attractive for German companies. And also every year we get the answer, Slovenian suppliers are highly innovative and are really reliable. They are always the plus in the survey.
So what should we improve the most? How this dialogue between private business sector and
the politics.
And the politics.
Yes. And not only...
What about stability and trust?
Yeah, I mean, it is not only talking, communication is not only talking, but follow the talk. That is what we need. We need speed in decision making. We need reliability in public and administration decisions. And we need a more positive attitude versus business.
It's our pessimistic character of the nation, probably. Maybe.
I still don't know exactly what it is.
So this must Slovenia do if you want to stay among the leading countries in the region, right?
Yes.
So our strength and advantages, you already mentioned, high quality of local suppliers, good business location, and also
good geographic situation,
definitely, yes.
in the middle of Europe. That's perfect. Luca Koper, really a big advantage. So yes, yes.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Yeah, I mean, also I can speak English here, so that is also a big advantage of that country. And whenever I'm walking my dog, and I meet someone, I can talk to everyone in the forest in English. And that is a big advantage for a country which want to attract investors, I tried to learn Slovenian, but I was so slow and everybody was answering me in English. So I said, okay, I can stop it because, I can survive with English.
You can survive with English. What will Germany be like in 5 or 10 years? Germany is not kaput yet.
No.
Yeah.
Germany is not kaput.
Yeah.
And Germany can be strong, but it depends on our decisions of today. We cannot go on, close our eyes and say, okay, we are so good and we are so big and so strong, let's go on. Now we have really to start with structural reforms. And as we have a new government, they have understood. They are trying hard to fulfill and to realize what they have promised, especially in close cooperation with the business. So what we need is, like Slovenia, a reduction of bureaucracy. We need an acceleration of procedures. All these, allowing procedures, it must be faster. What we need also is a competitive energy prices. In Germany, we have the highest energy prices, 8 times higher, like in the United States. So that is a really disadvantage of Germany. What we need is new investments, and for the new investments, tax incentives, for example. So as I told you, Germany is the biggest investor worldwide abroad. But we know we need investments in Germany, and for that we need structural reforms. We need a booster with digitalization, because in Slovenia I can call everybody via internet wherever I am. In Germany you can't. So we have still to improve in this regard. And we have to find a solution for our aging society and for the aging workforce. So we need skilled workers also from abroad, and find ways how to keep older people within the working process. So we have a lot of, let's say, ideas and tasks to fulfill to fill the gap between need and demand.
Do you have daily communication between Slovenian companies, which is working?
Not daily, but on a regular basis. And right now, my deputy, Katja Stadler, and me, we come from the German embassy, where we met with our ambassador and our board of directors of our chamber. And we are discussing a lot about their situation, about their needs, and what we can do and what Slovenia can do.
And how do you see situation in Slovenian companies through the conversations?
In Slovenian or in German companies?
In Slovenian.
Slovenian companies, they are scared, yes, because of the situation in Germany. But as I told you, we are trying to intensify, let's say, the business within that security and defense area. And it's a good chance also for the automotive suppliers to switch, but not directly. It's not a company by company business. It's a government by government business. So as soon as we are partnering with a Slovenian government in that defense and security sector, the suppliers will get their share for sure in Slovenia. And that is a good chance for Slovenian suppliers for the near future.
Where do you see the biggest fear of Slovenian companies? If you're talking about German market, about German investment.
Biggest fear is automobile industry, but I try to reduce that fear and to open up chances, I would say.
Mogoče kakšno vprašanje na našo gostjo? Maybe any question for Dagmar? Dimitri? Please.
A lot of questions, okay.
Please. I should be the first one. Well, regarding investments, and now I read that Volkswagen sold one company to Chinese, for example. Is this the trend in Germany that they are selling now these companies to Chinese because of some special cooperation, or this is like?
Exactly, it's special cooperation. So I'm reading a lot about automobile industry, and the big ones like VW, they are starting to partnering with other German car producers, Swedish one, French ones, but also with the Chinese ones to, to improve or to speed up the way in the direction of e-mobility. Not selling out, not selling out.
A strange question, but knowing the Chinese, they are accepting investors just if they are making essential mentions with the company, means that you are giving the industry the knowledge there. So this means that the German or the Volkswagen has some, let's say, factory there. They have, I know.
Yes.
But from the technology point of view, this means that this is a large cooperation, because this is not published, of course. This was always an enigma for me. If this is just happening accidentally, which probably in Germany is not the case.
You mean the losing the knowledge, or I don't understand?
The Chinese are saying, okay, you can come with investment, but we will have some joint ventures, and after certain years, you will do technology there. And of course, in the meantime, everything changed, because they're copying and developing.
I mean, you always have to see the importance of China as a market to German car industry. It's always, you have to move through, because on the one hand, we are selling quite a lot of cars in China. On the other hand, yes, you are right. There is always the danger of losing knowledge, competence, and China is not always playing fair, as we know in this regard. Yes. But on the other hand, we are still gaining a lot. Or let's say we may not dare to lose that market.
Perhaps this is the reason why we are scared as a Slovenian industry, because we cannot understand it. That big, let's say, the car producer in Germany always on the high side, on the high priority, and because in our media, if you read this, it seems that Germany is losing ground. And that perhaps this is the reason why we are scared, and our suppliers, so your suppliers of your energy, your industry are scared.
But I told you, I had another figure brought, that the car industry has the second biggest revenue since ever. And also, now I can't find my figures anymore. Also, yes, here it is. German automotive suppliers generated 92.5 billion euro revenue in 2024, an increase of 3.2% with regard to the year before. So, it is, yes, it is a big competition, but the competition is not at all lost, And what, for example, German suppliers are doing, they are moving together with the OEMs. When BMW is going to Shanghai, to China, the suppliers from Germany, they follow. And that, for example, is a good method of sticking to your customer. And that is, as far as I see, not very, let's say, usual in Slovenia so far. At the beginning of the year, we had an event where one of the experts of the Bavarian car industry was speaking, and he told us exactly that. He told us, okay, I mean, business doesn't stay like it was 10 years ago, so it's moving on, but you must move with it. And that could be rethinking in Slovenia to follow the customers, not just sitting and waiting for the next order.
Yes. Jost.
Hello.
Big fish now for Slovenia coming to see the locations and this stuff.
A big fish coming? No.
Coming to invest.
But I would say I
could tell if I were allowed, but I'm not. Several investments of big fishes which are already here. So, you know, the German companies in Slovenia, they reinvest their gains, their revenues, what they have got here, but they are really stuck in the political administrative process. And the same, a colleague from the British chamber told me exactly the same 2 days ago. She had a big investment which wanted to come to Slovenia, but decided in a different way now because it needed so much time until all the allowance processes have been realized.
And then they decide for Germany or
No.
for Hungary.
For another European country.
Okay, okay.
Close to Slovenia.
Close to Slovenia.
Yeah.
It's how interesting is the transfer of knowledge, R&D, because I have the feeling that Germans are not fully aware or fully interested to bring R&D facilities here. Or to know.
I mean, I have another example.
For example, Male, you know, they have been really talked a lot about last year because they had to set free or to relocate some production, but R&D is staying here in Slovenia and is improving and is really important R&D place for the whole company. Same in Tercero, R&D is in Slovenia. I can tell you many German companies who are working here or who are having here their R&D departments. It's, you know, Slovenia is not a low-cost country. It's a, you know, high-cost country with regard to the others, compared to the others in the region. So you will never have only production here, but R&D as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How interesting is especially this region around Postojna for German investors?
Actually, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Yes, who is here? Male is close by. Katja, please support me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how important it is.
Your ex-company, EBM Papst.
this year. Yes, EBM Papst this year.
Mm-hmm.
And EBM Papst is really quite satisfied here.
Super, super.
Yeah.
Katja, maybe you have.
No, I just wanted to add it's
Yeah.
quite important. We were discussing about that because actually it's a good logistic place here at the railway, close to Cooper, and it's appreciated business location also for the German companies. Okay. Maybe some questions? No. Okay. What do you think about?
Back from business. About the rise of populism in Germany. What are you afraid of?
Again, that is a political question. You know, I'm just here to answer.
Okay, what's your personal meaning of this? I'm not asking you as a president. I'm asking you as a
You must be a journalist trying hard to get your answer.
Don't worry, I'm covering tourism.
Okay. Yes, populism.
Don't be diplomatic.
You mean AfD party, I guess?
Yes.
Our right-wing
Yes.
party. back in
Because,
the parliament.
populism has many faces, but its pattern is always the same.
Yes, we have to deal with. And in Germany, we have a lot of...
This is also one thing that we are very concerned in Slovenia when we read about Germany, when we,
I mean, first of all, that...
I'm asking you as a
trend,
person, not as a president.
that trend towards populism, you don't have it only in Germany.
I know.
You have it
I know.
in Italy, you have it in Netherlands, you have it in France, you have it all over Europe. So it's a kind of a question of that time. And we have it also in Germany. But I'm quite proud on our people who voted at the last election in the beginning of that year for a, let's say, center right-wing conservative government. So we could exclude that populism. I mean, they are in the parliament, yes, but we could exclude them from governing. And I'm really hoping as a person that we can, convince the people who voted for that right-wing party during the next 4 years to come back to the center. I'm not scared that we are drifting to the right. My family is living in Munich. I have my headquarters in Berlin. I'm talking a lot to many people. And there is a big consent that we want to stay in the middle and not move to the right. Yes, we have to deal with it. And there is a big discussion in Germany about forbidding that party, which has pros and cons. In my eyes, it's much better to convince people that that is not the right way, but we should stay centered. And I'm really quite optimistic that we can reach that.
Are you optimistic as a person also about the Donald Trump government? I'm asking you as a person, not as a president.
Yeah, as a person, I would say, okay, it's a US topic. It's always, as you know, I lived for 4 years in Iran, and I was following the media reports in Germany about Iran, and I was comparing that to what I have experienced within that country. It was a big difference. And the same is with United States. I would not dare to judge.
I know.
The majority of the US people about voting for their president. It is their decision. And we will see what
That's the
means.
beauty of democracy.
Yes, it is. And we have to accept it. And they did it, so I respect it.
Okay. Let's move to lighter topics. How careful will Germans be with spending during this year's holiday? I'm asking because Germans are also one of our main guests in tourism in Slovenia.
And I can tell you from my personal experience, they will get more here in Slovenia, because my whole family, all my friends, which are coming to see me in Slovenia, they are so astonished because they have never been here. They always went, through Slovenia to Croatia.
Don't just go through, you must stop it.
Yes. And meanwhile, they stop in Slovenia. I would say my personal experience, but our experience business-wise as well. Everybody who was here once is coming back. So I'm quite sure you will have a lot of Germans in Slovenia.
You are more than welcome.
Yes.
I believe it's hard to work abroad for a long time. How much do you miss your Germany? Have you found a piece of your home also in Slovenia too?
Yes, I have. It's always when you're at such a place, I mean, either Iran or now Slovenia, you start to become a part of it. So Slovenia has become a part of me, and
a part of your DNK.
And I'm a part of you. Sorry for that, but That's like it is.
What do you like the most here in Slovenia? Is this food?
Katja, you can answer for me. It's the food.
Food and wine.
Food and wine.
Okay, allow me a tricky and sensitive question. Where did you eat the best sausages in the world? And please be careful with your answer.
You mean you?
Because Carniolan sausage is an important part of our food tradition.
I know, but it's not only sausage. And you know, it's not only the food, it's the culture, the quality.
It's our temperament.
Yeah, and the love for that food. That is really excellent. Yeah. And you know, my kids will come to see me coming weekend, and today already I gave them the restaurant where we will go to when they are here.
Please invite your kids to work in Slovenia.
Yeah,
we have friendly business environment,
but you know,
and high quality of life.
We are back at the tax question. So it would be never profitable to work in Slovenia. Because you're taxed so much.
But it's not only about the money, it's about the quality of life at the end of the day.
But money is not so.
Okay, after your job in Slovenia ends, do you already know what's next?
Let's see. No, it's not quite sure. So I will stay until beginning of 27, and then let's see where to go.
And you are optimistic for the future?
I'm very optimistic.
Okay. The last message for Slovenian companies?
The last message for Slovenian companies: stick to your German customers, follow them, and you know, work closely and very innovatively with them together.
Very innovatively, yes. Super. Dagmar von Bohnstein, thank you for this conversation and for your time. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
You are more than welcome in Slovenia, especially in this part. I'm quite sure you will be pleasantly surprised by offerings and beauty of nature.
Thank you so much.
Super.